if you see in the camera, there's a lady tapping me. Now she's tapping me, 20. I go like, 20. Who are you? Where are you taking me? Are you arresting me? Here she is. She's not coherent. She's not telling me anything. Nothing. They dragged me. Lynn Ngugi, I was pinched. That was scratch marks, but was Deisha. I was pinched, I was scratched, I was dragged. Then the one of them kept telling me, utaenda. And me, I'm CND. Fine. They dragged me, put me. When I saw Subaru, I knew finished. That policeman, please. My hair, this hair, ni mongiki. We shall shave you. Iyo nyene tutakata. Iyo ujeuri. Iyo mdomo. Wetu tunajua mahali unakaa. Tutakuja mpaka kwako, tunajua unaweka kuku, unaweka nguruwe, unafanya. We know where you stay. We can get you anytime.
There were also allegations that you had been paid by someone to fight the government. Is that true?
No. Me, I'm just a sick patient. It is not by choice. It is what I've gone through that made me stand up. So it wasn't by choice. I was actually sick and I was looking for help. I'm not a politician. I don't even know anything about politics.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of LNN. My name is Lynn Ngugi, and I'm pretty sure you've heard this quote before. When we lose our fear, they lose their power. My guest today is no stranger to you all. You witnessed her bravery during the SHA scandal, and when she came out and she was complaining about the systematic failures of SHA, I thought, by the way, the government will look at it and do something about it, but it still sucks that weeks later, we are still dealing with this matter. But that's a story for another day. I'm here to let her walk us through her story, because I've always said, when you see someone do something, obviously there is a reason, and there's a reason why they do what they do. Her story is encouraging. By the time we end today's conversation, you will get to understand why she did what she did, and also what her hopes are for our country, and how has her past been like, and why she's so passionate matters healthcare. I'm about to let her introduce herself and walk us through her story, but before that, kindly allow me to say thank you to our sponsors of today's conversation, Kings Developers Limited, for always coming through. I know the year is 2025. We have a couple of goals ahead of us, and if one of those goals for you is owning an apartment with an ISO certified real estate company, why don't you try our people at Kings Developers Limited? We have showcased the apartments, and not only do they care to the upper end, but they also have something that is affordable for you and medium range also for you. Kindly check out. Their details are on the screen, and if you can't call them, feel free also to walk to their offices at Prism Towers, that beautiful building that they also own, and then you up on 5th floor and 6th floor, and say you want to talk to Kings Developers Limited and ask them, what do you have for us? And also to say thank you so much to the courageous subscribers who continue commenting and loving our work. Man, I was just in Rwanda the other day and just bumping into our fans there, and knowing that you guys, you get to share our work and then it reaches people even outside Kenya, really made me happy. So shukran for even subscribing, and also to my team who gets to put this work together. I do not take your efforts for granted, and I know, as EJ says, maybe 2025 is the year that we get to say 1.5 million subscribers. Here we are. I appreciate you, and now, of course, without further ado, please allow me to let my guest introduce herself so that we can be able to do the 3 things we are doing this year: learn and relearn. Karibu sana, ma'am.
Asante
How
sana.
are you?
I'm fine.
Hair goals, face goals. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, thank you. But I would say that so far so good. And I'm still taking one day at a time. After what I went through, it's still, I would say I'm managing. And there are some fears that I didn't have before. But every day I'm thankful when I wake up in the morning, because I'm able to do something. And there are some pending issues that I'll still have to sort out. because I was planning for a surgery. I've not been able to go for it because I'm still having heart issue. I have heart issues, and my blood pressure was very high. Even that time they came from when I was being, I would call it abducted because it wasn't arrested.
Yes.
I wasn't being arrested. So my pressures at that time were high, but now they're higher. And a week ago, my drugs were changed. So I'll say I'm taking one day at a time until I stabilize. I still cannot go for surgery.
Wow, I know.
And I still feel unsafe.
God.
Yes, I still feel unsafe.
I think that statement is what breaks my heart.
Yes.
Because I don't think you should feel unsafe.
Yes.
I don't think you should feel unsettled.
Yes.
I think you should be able to enjoy your country for what it is.
Yes.
But on behalf of so many people who will tune into this episode, I want to thank you for your bravery. I want to thank you for what you have done. I want to thank you for creating awareness. I want to thank you for being strong. And maybe this might not be an assurance enough, but maybe just to let you know, should this happen again, we will still stand with you the way we stood with you and your family. And I hope all the people who have participated in advocacy, myself included, do I feel unsafe? Sometimes, absolutely. But I think the joy is in knowing that we are speaking about the things that should change in our country. So I really want to extend my gratitude on behalf of me, the people at LNN, the guys who will watch this. We sometimes I feel like we don't deserve people like you, but I feel like we deserve you. We deserve this level of bravery. We deserve this amount of strength. We deserve our parents coming out and saying enough is enough. But I really do appreciate you.
Thank you. I would also like to thank the many Kenyans that have reached out.
Yes.
Because despite this, I still get people on the street, they say, you are strong, we vouch for you. But I'm still unable to walk.
Yeah.
When somebody talks to me, I feel scared. And like now, even today I've come with my son. I still don't feel very safe. When one morning I wake up, I can go alone. The next morning I don't feel like today I woke up at around 3. You find yourself having some sleepless nights. I've been put on some drugs to try and stabilize my sleep. And my voice, this is not my voice. It's still not come back. I'm still having a hoarse voice. And it is not by choice. It is what I've gone that made me stand up. So it wasn't by choice. Yeah.
It's what you've gone through.
Yes.
I know we're about to get into that, so people, as I said, understand where this amount of bravery and this courage is coming from. But for anyone that might have missed your story or anyone that might not have seen you before, could you maybe introduce yourself and tell us what you do so that we can get into the story?
My name is Grace Mulei Mulei. I'm a retired nurse, not by choice, due to COVID. And since then, I've just been hustling, as we call ourselves hustlers. I've been doing some jobs here and there, and also doing some money-making projects in the house, in my home. But basically, I live a day at a time because of my cardiac condition. And I'm a Rotarian. I would like to say that every other day when you wake up, you look for something to do, something that is meaningful.
Purpose.
A purposeful life. So I will start by saying that let me give a bit of history of who I am actually.
Yes. Yeah.
I went for training at Kenya Medical Training School. I finished. I've worked in several hospitals across the country. And I've worked for over 40 years. So I have experience in different hospitals, in different managerial posts. Actually, in the last hospital, I was a manager in three units, 3 different units. I was a night supervisor. And even now, when I'm not working, being a Rotarian, I go for medical camps. And like tomorrow, I'm going to Baringo for 4 days to help the sick. So I actually even donate. I go to hospitals. Like the last time I was in Kenyatta, I had some donations I gave to some patients. They are called colostomy bags. So I reach out in the neighborhood when there's people who ask for help. I go out of my way to help. I could give you a few examples, like my neighbor's mother fell in the bathroom, and she was looking for a hospital to take the mother, ICU, which had an ICU. So I made a few calls, and that is how I landed in LNN, because my husband and other people had taken them to that hospital. It's a very good hospital, and she was treated, and so basically in the neighborhood or even friends reach out for help, and I go out of my way to help and advise. And I could also give another example. There's a friend of mine whose mother was having dialysis. She could not, she had an issue with the hospital she was going to. So I advised her to go to another hospital, and we had to convince the mother. When she went to the other hospital, she was happy about the charges, and she was happy with the medical care she received. So we have patients, and we have friends, and we have relatives who, when they are given diagnosis or when they don't know where to go, they reach out. So with the experience I have for 40 years in different hospitals, I'm able to guide which is affordable, and when they are given diagnosis that they do not understand, I'm able to guide them
on the way forward.
On the way forward.
All right. Thank you so much for your service. As I said, for me, it's very important that we highlight the stories of brave men and women who are doing incredible things in our society. But I was very fascinated with your life growing up, because I feel like that's when I got to understand your why. I always say sometimes when you are going through life and you are doing things, people might not understand your why because they don't know your whole story. And me just learning a bit of things about your life growing up, that really fascinated me, and I got to understand you in depth, right? So maybe could you walk us through your life growing up so that also the audience get to understand where is Grace coming from and why is she so passionate about matters healthcare?
Okay, when I was in high school, during the holidays, instead of people going around playing, I used to go to the hospitals. I even have photographs I could show that
Yes.
I would go and help patients, and it was a passion from when I was young. So I would go during holiday, instead of going out like girls, they're busy going out, me, I would be busy in hospitals helping. And then I went, I did my nursing, I graduated. Along the line when I was working, my father got sick. I would start with my father. And he was operated. At that time I wasn't around, I was in Machakos. He was operated in a hospital in Nairobi. And they did a head surgery. At that time, that was the time of Mishuki, when cars had a speed governor, they were very slow. So when I entered that matatu, I opted to pay for the seats, and I came to Nairobi. I found my father gasping. Gasping is the last breath that somebody takes. And my mother was at the bedside. She did not know what was happening, and he was on oxygen. And when I walked in, I called out for help, for the nurses to come, and it was too late. They didn't have the facility that operated him did not even have an ICU, and they had a head surgery, and it was very traumatic to watch. There is a process of calling resuscitation. I'm sure you've seen on TVs where people carry trolleys and what they give in. They didn't have those equipment at that time. So my father passed away when I was watching him, and it was very traumatic. So when I followed through, we did a post-mortem. Actually, he had pneumonia. So it's actually the pneumonia that killed him, not even the head surgery. But still, they had already done a head surgery with no facilities, not the proper facility. So that is why when people reach out, I advise, this is a good facility. If in case there's a complication, you're able to sort out your patient. Then from there, I went to my mother. My mother broke her leg. She fell in the bathroom, and she was put metal. I want to be very simple. So it didn't hold the bone. So she was over 70. They said that we need to take you to ICU. and remove the metal, then again take you to theater, put the metal, take you to ICU. She said, no. I mean, you can't go to ICU twice. That's too much. So she stayed in bed for over 3 years, bedridden. So finally, when she accepted to go to theater, she said, I'll not do it in Kenya, I'll do it in India. So we started a fundraising for my mother. And now I'm trying to join two scenarios together. At the same time, my husband, since I got married to him, he'd been having stomach issues for many years, and they would test and they wouldn't find much. And finally, one morning he woke up and his arm was paining. He went to be done an x-ray. They found there was a hole. They removed the bone. They found he had a cancer, stage 4. That means it has spread all over the body by the time it reaches in your bones. So here I am preparing to take my mother to India, and at the same time I'm preparing to take my husband to India. But at least I already knew he had cancer. So at that time, why we decided to go to India is because PET scan had not come to Kenya. And when I asked the doctor, which is the best treatment that we can be able to give? So he said the best way is to go to India because there's that machine, they'll be able to diagnose, they'll be able to give you the correct treatment. So that's how we landed going to India. So we went to India, me, my husband, my mother, my sister-in-law, and my husband. Actually, I remember it was December 25th, 2018. So we landed in India, and my husband actually on Christmas Day, he was busy going for his chemotherapy, and my mother was going for surgery. So just before we left Kenya, my mother lifted herself and broke her arm. So we knew there was a bone issue. And even the doctor who had operated on her kept telling us, your mother has bone issues. But because when we operated, we noticed it was spongy, it was light. We did some scans, we did some x-rays, everything was normal in Kenya. So when we went to India, they operated and they put a plate on the bone. So now when we started asking, what about the arm? Is when they told us, we are sorry, your mother is also having cancer stage 4, multiple myeloma. So now here I am with my mother and my husband, both cancer stage 4. And I think because of the shock, she passed.
Oh, sorry.
She passed on in India. And they came back and they left us. So we continued our treatment. And 3 days later, I lost my father-in-law.
Oh.
So here I am. I've lost my mother and my husband has lost the father. It was very difficult to break the news to my husband because he was still having the treatment. And we finished our treatment, we came back to Kenya, and we buried my mother. Then by that time already, I started having severe chest pains. So I was in hospital. I was being discharged to go to bury my mother. Then I go back to hospital. So we are from Machakos. We went to bury my father. And unfortunately, we found because of the period of time he had been in the mortuary, another family had buried him mistakenly.
Wait, what?
Yes.
They took the wrong body.
Yes. So now we had to go to court, get court orders for exhuming, and then now start again the preparation for burial.
Oh.
So I was admitted again in hospital. Now it's more trauma. So I was admitted again in hospital. I went to wait because now they had to go around the exhuming several homes. They found him. Now we had again to prepare another day on a Saturday.
Yeah.
After having all those people coming, now again you start preparing again and here I am in hospital. So I went for the burial, and immediately after the burial, I was back in Nairobi in a hospital. I was admitted. So now I was done several tests, and they kept telling me my heart is okay, very expensive, and but they could not find anything. my temperatures were high, my blood pressure was low. It's like my body had gone haywire. My temperature was high, my BPs were low, my sugars were high. So they started giving me antibiotics, high doses of antibiotics, steroids. I was even put on TB treatment, and I reacted. So it had to be withdrawn. I still didn't get well. My pains were getting worse. So my husband suggested we go back to India. Now, when I was, my friends, I had a lot of support from my friends, my relatives, my church. There was a lot of support. Now, can you imagine, Lynn, all the money, I had done a bit of loan. I had quite a bit of money. Our Kenya airport, you're told, get out of the car. They're examining your car. So, those policemen at the gate took my wallet. All the money that I had collected. All. My money went. Because you get out of the car, you walk.
They search the car.
You walk.
Back. Then
the car goes ahead, you enter. So the person behind could see what the policeman was doing.
Now the one who
was behind us. No, not the driver.
The person behind the car.
Yeah, and he was hooting, very aggressively.
Yes.
And as we are wondering, which hurry is this? So, as Kenyans, tunasema pita juu.
And the driver who was left with the car
was looking in front. Was looking ahead. So unajua vile ukipigiwa honi unasemaga si upite juu. Kenya si tunameka mtu pita juu.
Sahi wenye nyinyi mmeshuka
tumeenda
muende msachiwe. See, the car is left with the driver.
Yes. But my car, he didn't see because I was in the back seat with the bag. But the person behind saw and was hooting. But this person in the driver was feeling like anaharaka. So I realized my purse had gone when I was at the checkings. So now I was going to remove it to declare. I realized my money is gone. So Lynn, here you are going for treatment and you have no money.
Wow.
So one of the church ladies was calling me to wish me a safe journey. Now there I am screaming, crying, everything.
You'd converted to dollars?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Kila
Grace.
kitu ilienda. So there I was busy crying. Then a lady from the church called me. I couldn't talk. So my son picked the phone and said, pesa imeenda. Then he told her, make sure she gets in that aeroplane. Make sure. Kwa sababu, if she doesn't go, and we shall do what we can on this end, but make sure she gets in that aeroplane. So, nikaingia kwa ndege with no shilling. We reached the other end. And fortunately, when you arrive, an ambulance picks you from the airport, takes you to the hotel. So the next day you go to the hospital. So at least we had accommodation. You don't pay upfront. So we had accommodation for that time. And the church, now the lady went back to church, tell her, hey, guess what? Pesa imeenda hata hiyo. They did for me another harambe, instant. So by the time I was reaching there, at least there was a little bit of money, but not enough. So here, my husband, I had got me and my husband. Now here he is being done a checkup. And here me also, I'm supposed to be done a checkup. So when they checked him, they told him, your cancer has come back and it's in the colon. Lynn, you have no shilling. You have no money. NHIF came through for us. That time it was NHIF. It paid part of the bills. And we managed to get some money from where I was working. So basically, NHIF supported us. Because when you go out, there's an amount you're giving. He had his card, I had my card. So it was good money. Now, he had a surgery. He went to ICU. He had chemotherapy. And he had drugs to come back with. So Lynn, I stayed in India. I went in July, August, September, October, November. I came back on a December with no money.
6 months.
With no money.
They were treating you for?
Now me, After my husband was admitted,
Yes.
I went for a checkup. They told me, your heart is blocked. They were even wondering how I was making it. I had no caregiver, so I could not go for surgery. They were saying it is urgent. I need to go for a urgent surgery. I remember, Lynn, thank you very much. You came through for us.
Okay.
And that is how I went for my surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, so they understand. I went to school with your son,
Yes.
George.
Yes.
We went to college together. Yes. And I remember when he reached out and he was like, Lynn, we don't know what to do. We need to mobilize. I was just giving the context so they understand like the background. But I would still have done it even if George was not my schoolmate. So
yes. So Kenyans came through and I went for my surgery. Now, because at that time I was a flight risk, that is how we stayed for a period of time. And also my husband kept going to ICU. He went to ICU 3 times because there's something called potassium. His body was misbehaving. So when we came back with drugs for 6 months. God provided. All through, I never lacked. And not only that, I was given 2 angels, a Russian and a Nigerian. We went to the same imagine we went to the same hospital, same doctor, same hotel, and they also had cancer. The husband had cancer, the child had cancer. So God gives you angels in a way that you do not understand. Because the first hotel that I went to, remember I told you are picked and taken to a hotel.
Yeah.
They knew we didn't have money. So they kept harassing me. They kept adding the amount. So when you came through for me, I paid them immediately and went back to the hotel that I had initially gone when my mother passed away. We had already bonded. So they understood us. And they were not hiking for us. So they were very friendly. They supported us so much. Now, when I left that hotel, I left a Russian, a lady. And they were doing the same thing to her.
Yeah.
So when I went to my doctor, you see, we're in the same hotel, but we don't understand each other. Her English wasn't good. So the day I went for review for my husband, I saw that lady. And she asked me, you go where? I told her another hotel. Then she told me, how much? It was 1,000 rupees. So take me. Because there we are paying 2,000-3,000 rupees. Yes. Take me. I told her, yeah, come. So I transferred her from wherever she was to my hotel.
Yes.
Only for her to take care of me when I was sick.
Oh.
And unfortunately, her daughter was told that she's terminal and she couldn't make it. But she stayed and took care of me for 2 months. She didn't go back to Russia. She said, I'm staying, I'm taking care of you. So I had a Nigerian. That lady husband also had cancer. He came alone initially. And I could see he was not eating well. He was lonely. So at that time, I was a bit stronger with the Russian lady. So because she came to stay with me, we would knock his door and get him out and force him to eat. Normally, you have a room with your bathroom inside, but you share a common kitchen and a common sitting room.
Yes.
So we'd make sure that we get him out of the room because he came and he was also told that his cancer had recurred. So he had gotten depressed. So we insisted he brings his wife to come and take care of him. So when she came, she was told how we were taking care of him by the wife.
Yes.
So when I got sick, she took care of me. So we became a family of me,
the Russian,
the
Nigerian.
So we used to cook meals. I was broke, so they would cook for me. I was sick, they'd cook for me, and they understood. Sometimes I would have no money to go to, they would pay the taxi, or we'd make sure our appointments, because we are going to the same doctor.
They are together.
Yeah, we go together. So that is how I say God provides.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Yeah. And at this point, where is Dad?
Dad, we are together, all of us. So they would sit in the sitting room, the 3 men, and they talk politics for each country. You tell them how Kenya is. The other one, the husband wasn't understanding English very well, but he'd get a few words here and there. But when there was football, they'd all be watching football.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, and they really bonded.
Amen.
Now, when the Russian went back, unfortunately, the daughter passed on a few months later. And so I'll say, unfortunately, the husband of that Nigerian lady also passed on. So I can say God is a faithful healer. My husband has had cancer. This is the 7th year. He's done 6 years already. Because when I count 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
25.
We are doing.
I have 7th year.
We are on a 7th year. So, it is not about you. It is about what you believe in, what you fight for, and what you know.
Yes.
So, I have a passion because from day one, I told him, people will tell you it is stage 4. But it is what you believe. It is what you want. That is why from day one, I asked, what is the best treatment that we can get? So I believe that it is the way you accept your disease. It is the way you accept the treatment you're given. It is the way you take care of yourself. And also faith. Because we walked in faith. And throughout, we have seen God working for us.
Yeah.
Whichever situation we are, I will say confidently God has worked for us.
He comes through.
He comes through. Yes.
So Dad is doing his 7th year.
Yes.
And you, how is your condition? How are you doing?
Wow. So now, another one. Now I've lost my mother. I've lost my father. I go to my sister. My older sister. She had had a brain tumor that had been operated on earlier, but we knew it would come back after a period of time, and it came back. So I had already come back from India, and I wanted her to go to India, but there were a few logistics, so she was operated here. Then when she was operated here, the surgery wasn't so successful, and it is sad that our country we take advantage, especially when you know a patient has insurance. Not only that, I will say that even us as relatives, we know, but we don't want to accept. We don't want, well, you see that person is gone, but you still fight. And you want to fight, but you are fighting a losing battle. You can see it is a losing, but you do not want to accept. So, if we are in our culture, we do not accept death. We want to blame. I would say we want to say, if I did this, if I did that, if I could do, if it was this. So we have never accepted death. Our culture.
Yeah.
So. My sister was operated not once, not twice, not 3, not 4, many times. Brain surgery.
Yeah.
And she was not improving. So by that is the time I knew about NHIF. She's a civil servant. She was a civil servant. So now, when they needed to operate, I would take a walk to NHIF offices. There's a floor you go to when the systems are down. And they will tell you it will be up working in a few minutes or hours. If they are unable, there's another one called pre-authorization. There's something called an LOU. So if you have that LOU, they are able to get into the system and approve immediately. So I kept taking walks to NHIF offices, and by the way, it's 24 hours. There's even a call line, a helpline. You just call, you give them your LOU number, and it's approved. That was the previous NHIF, working perfectly. So I knew I didn't even have to walk. Sometimes I had the numbers I would call. Can you approve for me this? And it is approved. And because they could not take her for surgery without an approval. And she's taken immediately for surgery, then out. Surgery, out. Now, by June, her bill was 3 million. And we were supposed to transfer her to another hospital. But due to some logistics, she was not transferred. She died in September. we have a bill of 24 million. 24 million. So from June, July, August, September, we are spending 7 million a month.
And that is exclusive of NHIF? Or which
it is not the bill we were given.
24 million.
24 million. I do not want to go to the details of that bill because it is still pending. We don't know how we are going to pay it. But I was wondering which is miracle is this that we are spending 7 million every month, and she passed on. We went to court to have her body released. And it is something that Kenyans don't know. It is illegal to hold a body against a bill. There's a way we can agree to pay. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Grace.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. So now, Mom, your sister, your father-in-law.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Then.
That was September of last year?
No, about 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yes. Now, I come from there.
Yeah.
The latest trauma was my brother-in-law. He goes to a doctor, tells him, you have an ulcer, and they do a biopsy. They find he has cancer. They just write a referral letter to an oncologist. Who knows what is an oncologist? Do you know what is an oncologist? Most people don't know. So, here I am, calls me and tells me, I'm coming to Nairobi. I'm supposed to see a doctor. They've told me to go and see a doctor. Then I tell him, can you show me picture, send me that letter via WhatsApp. And he just knows he has ulcers. So when I see that it's an oncologist, I get pissed off. So I call back. And that time, it is a letter which he's not understanding, and he's just assuming he's going to be given medicine and go home. Then, of course, I had to have a discussion with my husband. It was another trauma for him.
Yeah.
He's the only brother. And we had a meeting. So before we took him to the oncologist, we tried to get some counseling done, you walk through the person before now you start telling them exactly we start from far. Because most people just tell you, pop, you have cancer and you are gone. Yeah. Now, with his journey, it was very short. Actually, just a year. Because I believe he did not accept it. I said, first of all, it is the way you accept it. He did not accept it. And we tried and we pleaded.
Yeah.
And I tried all sorts of manner to walk through with him, but there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Because even you're supposed to go for surgery, he refused. And I told him, you see, your brother has been operated. He's doing very well. Actually, he's been operated twice. We are talking over 6 years. He refused surgery. He completely refused. So he opted to take his medicine. And it reached a point where by now, I think he had given up because he started reducing his medicine. He was supposed to take 4 tablets. He started taking 2 Evo. So when I go, I see a pile. Yeah. And I realized he had already given up. So we lost him last year in December in Kenyatta. Yeah. But it is the acceptance. You see, I believe it is the way there's so much we can do. If, like now, I tell you will get well.
Yeah.
And you don't believe. I tell you we do this. You don't. It is your faith it is the faith that you have that heals you. Yes.
Wow.
It is not about...
It's the faith.
Yes, it's the faith.
But you see, you are here, you are navigating all this, and I can hear you are saying, Lynn, this is working, this is not working, you're going to India. What are the gaps you had identified in our healthcare system?
What I know is that most of us are ignorant about our rights. And we are ignorant about what you can get. You can get the best, but it's just that we're ignorant. Like now you go to hospital, just a basic hospital up country. You're told you're sick. Ask the doctor, why am I sick? You're just written for medicine, go and swallow, and you go home. There are side effects of that drug. Maybe you'll start having diarrhea, and now you start thinking you have another infection.
Yes.
But it is that medicine that you took is giving you diarrhea.
Yeah.
You may have started having a headache, but it is that medicine that you're taking is giving you a headache. So there are basic things that we should ask. And if you're not satisfied with that, because before I went to India, I had done a lot of research and I did a lot of homework. If you're not satisfied with that doctor, it's your right to go to another doctor, even to ask, can I have a second opinion? It is your right to say no. If you feel, like now my brother-in-law had that right to say, I don't want. I mean, we can't force it down his throat. Yes. And also the basic, most important thing is that you ask and ask and ask again. Because if I took this medicine
Yes.
and I'm not responding, go back and ask, is there an alternative? Don't keep, like now my husband with his stomach issue, he kept getting prescribed drugs. And some of the tests that were normal, go to another facility. Go to another, because their levels is level. They go with levels. So go to a higher level. If the bottom one is not, go to the next level, if, like that. But don't keep going to the same level hospital if you're not getting sorted out. Yes.
And the way they say, if you come inside, you have to have admission fee. We need first to, how do we go about that?
What I know for sure, let's not even go to the admission fee. Let's say you get knocked out here and you're crossing the road. You can go to Nairobi Hospital. Whoever picks you up doesn't have to drag you across to Kenyatta. You can go to Nairobi Hospital. It is your right. It's and it's called emergency services. And that is why now they are saying that even if the SHA is not working, you're entitled to your emergency services. So there are things that we do not know. You don't have to travel all the way. If somebody is in the house and is having something emergency, just go to the nearest. They'll not ask for money first. So you don't have to travel across the country going to that government hospital. No.
Will they ask for money later?
They will ask and you can negotiate. There's something called a social worker. There's always a leeway. These hospitals are given some funds for those emergencies. Yes. So there's a way they can recover their money. It is part of their kitty. It is your right. So if you can't pay, you can't pay.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's if you can't, but
there's a way they do it.
They can't deny you
the treatment.
The treatment.
They cannot deny you treatment. First aid, they can't deny you. Even if you're bleeding, they'll tie a bandage to stop the bleeding, take you to the next. If you don't have oxygen, they'll give you oxygen, you stabilize, you go to the next. There's a way they go about it.
If they need to put you in an ambulance, they'll put you in an
ambulance.
Some
even will put you in an ambulance, 4 of you, and they don't pay. If an accident, they want to take you to the nearest, but they've done the first aid. You will not go with your bones broken. Yes.
The basics.
Yes, the basics.
Okay.
Yes.
You've gone through all these things and now people are starting to understand, maybe you are why. But we wake up in the morning again, just the other day, and we see you inside the ministry.
But when you pay, pesa in India, I paid in India. Like when it comes to approval, hakuna. Please leave me alone for 2 minutes. Let me cry with this mother.
There you are causing our rights. Could you, from a place you are comfortable in, because again, as you said, for me, your safety comes first. But would you be okay telling us maybe what was happening?
I'll tell you. Now, as I have been saying, it's God's, previously, let me start from Bali. The year when it started, I said, God, I need to know where I'm heading to. I need to know. So I had written some goals of things to do. I need to help patients. I need to do this. I had started a YouTube to 2023, nikawachana nayo. I had started TikTok, nikawachana nayo. So there are many things I had done, but somehow along the line, I stopped. Now, when I was doing my brother-in-law, previously I had fallen, injured my knee. Then again, when I was arranging for my brother-in-laws, I again fell, injured my knee. So it got worse. Then I was done an X-ray. The doctor said, no, you have to do a CT, an MRI. Now, when I was, during the process of changing NHIF to SHA, my name was misplaced. It came out. It was missing in my husband's. I told you we have to.
Yes.
My husband's SHA, my name was not reflecting. So for several days, I kept telling him, please help. But because he was still in the mourning process, I decided now, let me just use mine. So that, my previous hospital where I was working, I knew I would be assisted. But that morning, I didn't go to where I was previously working. I just found myself, I want to go to Kenyatta. So I woke up, told my husband, drop me in Kenyatta. That was a Wednesday. I went, I paid up front, the way they were saying pay. Then we go to the systems, they are not working. So I go like, okay, it's new Wednesday. So now we were many people there, we were talking. So one was saying, I came from Bungomas, from all over the country. I have this issue, I have this issue. But the ones who really were at the core was a young man who had kidney failure after the COVID vaccine. There was another one who had an epileptic child, had been sleeping in the corridors for 3 days, waiting for the SHA to work, and the child was supposed to go for surgery. She had finished her money. And me, I have a motto when I go to any hospital, because of staying in India, I carry breakfast, lunch, and supper, because you spend a whole day. And in India, we are unable to eat that food because of the curries and the what.
Yes.
And we advise not to eat hotel foods, they are not hygienic. So I would carry, I'm used to carrying, because I don't know how long. So that day I had carried 10 chapatis with some smokies and whatever. So when I started eating with my tea, I saw the way those children, they were hungry. So I shared what I had. Then there was this one who had swallowed a coin. That child was crying, was restless, couldn't eat, in pain. They really touched. Then there was that mother. I knew when she was saying she has chest pains, me being a nurse, knowing about the heart, I knew it was something to do with the heart. It could be a blood clot, and every time she's moving, it could be moving. So she had been told to do a CT scan. A CT is called a CT angio. Now, I was feeling it. So I gave them my story. We talked, and we said, tomorrow. Now we pray. Actually, we did a praise and worship, a proper one. We were singing, we were praying, and all. Tomorrow, tufunguliwe njia. Let the God open the way. And we went home. Following day, we wake up, not working. We waited 11. Some people who were saying they are even sleeping in the corridors of Kenyatta. There were some young men, and Kenyatta is cold. So they were saying, tumekula baridi. So I remembered, see, I know NHIF, yes. My sister scenario. So we'll just walk. We'll go to the floor I used to go. And then if it is not working, we can go to the laptop to Gisort. When I reached there, they were not working. They were down. They were not even aware that the Kenyatta systems were not working. So I go like, okay, so where else can we get up? So when I was leaving there, I asked the people who were able to walk. So we're about 20. The rest, they gave us their numbers. So we walked to NHIF, the SHA. Then they told us, try ministry. So that is how we ended up crossing peacefully to the ministry. At the gate, they told us, you're too many, 2 of you to go. I said, fine. Me and the gentleman, the child would swallow the coin. And then the lady who was feeling with a baby, we were still even helping her carry the baby. So we walked, we went to 4th floor where we had been told there's help, nothing. We went to 5th floor, nothing. We went to, you see, we are patient.
Yes.
4, 5, 6, 7. So that is how we landed in 7th floor.
CS office.
CS office. Now, it wasn't the CS office. It was a boardroom where they were having a meeting. The meeting had already ended. It wasn't ongoing.
Yes.
So when we landed in 7th floor, there was a lot of movement. In fact, because of the press, it was not at a big issue, because people were eating, So if you notice when I walked in, I said, here you are eating mandazis and people are dying in Kenyatta, because actually they were taking tea. And here people are dying, it is true. So it was a moment of, could I say, and then I remembered when my father died. You see, it is trauma also. When my father died, my mother was at the bedside. And the nurses, when I walked in, they were still having tea and water. So it was a haunting. Ile muna kunywa chai na mandazi na watu huko wanakufa. So it was a flashback of what I had gone through when So that is how I landed in the SHA. I didn't do it. It wasn't planned. And I believe it is God because we had prayed. And that is why I didn't even talk. I asked this lady, please explain, because it haunted me. It was haunting me. So actually that is why during even if you notice, I just say it's not working.
Yes.
Those are the words I just used. I didn't even explain anything. I just said it is not working. Because when I left there, everybody, it wasn't working. And it hadn't worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it wasn't working. So that was the only thing I could express myself.
Yes.
And I could say that, really? And actually when I left there, I said, whoever is concerned, can they help the patients? They are suffering. Because I walked up and down, even the CT scan, the MR, nothing. They were not working.
Did you get the feeling that someone listened to you? Do you think the CS listened to you? Do you think maybe she could have talked to you and, just want to understand in detail, in depth, what's happening?
At that point in time, I was not in the right frame of mind, if you noticed.
Yes.
And I was also sick.
Yes.
And I just wanted to pass the message. It is not working. So, and I said to whoever it's concerned, please. So me, that was just my message. So it wasn't like I wanted a dialogue. I was not. Me, it was just I walk in. It is not working, and I'm out of there. Actually, we just walked out, and I went back to Kenya. By the way, when we were there, within half an hour it was working. Even when I went back to Kenyatta, I queued, and I was my MRI was done, and I went home. And me, I thought it was over. That was it. Me, I just wanted it to work. So actually, I kept getting calls. Please. I don't know how somehow people managed to get my number and they'd call, they'd say, actually I never talked to any media, I never talked to anybody at that point in time, because me, it wasn't something big, it was just an ending. And it was a moment whereby I know and I knew people were suffering, and I knew for a fact that something needed to be done urgently.
And you had seen it.
And I had seen it. And especially Kenyatta, knowing Kenyatta, the emergencies. And I had seen several emergencies. Like that young man for dialysis, it really bothered me. My brother, right now we are talking, is on dialysis. And he uses that SHA. So when it doesn't work, we go into panic because we have to raise a lot of money. 10K, it's twice a week. Where are you going to get that kind of money? Here I have, my husband is sick. Here I have a brother. Here, you see now when you look at that, it has to work. It has to work.
And what do you mean the systems are not working? What do you mean?
That is what now they have said that they have worked on them. So that is the only thing that we were asking.
Yes.
And for some people, I would say it's for me now. After that, actually even my surgery has been approved for my knee. Because it was a knee surgery, it has been approved. And even that patient, the patient that I took to that hospital, even her, it was approved. There are many cases we've had of it working. So there were the hitches that are there, the time that it is not working. That is all we are asking. Because we knew because it's a system. The system, we agree. When it is not working, can they get an alternative?
Yes.
That is all. When
Simple.
It's not working, just an alternative. Because we knew if it is not working, they would go to their laptop, do something, and you're sorted. That is all. Otherwise, we are good.
We are good.
Yes.
Talk to me about the aftermath.
Oh. Hey, I still have nightmares, but it's called life. Because me, after I finished, see, I've done my MRI. Now I've been told you need surgery. My neighbor has called me, asked me, oh, which hospital do I go? I tell her, go to this hospital. And the mother was admitted on a Saturday, operated on a Monday, discharged on a Thursday. So being my neighbor, I told her, let's go together. As you're discharging your mother, I process my admission.
Yes.
Okay, let me go a bit behind. I was done an MRI. I went on Monday to collect it at Kenyatta. When I entered that gate, I met the security. And he recognized me. There was nothing major. Hi, how are you? Umekuja kufanya nini? I've come for my results. So I walked in. He escorted me. I picked my results. And then I told him, you remember there was that mother? Now I'm taking her, I want to go back to her because she paid. And she was supposed to be done a CT scan. After taking her money, the CT scan was not working in Kenyatta. So now she has to look for another facility to have it done. She went to another hospital in Nairobi. They only covered 7,000, so she was supposed to raise 8,000. It was 15,000. She had no money. So she called me. I told her, fine, let me come. That's why I'm telling you, mimi nakusaidia, nimerogwa.
Ucharogwa, Grace, umebarikiwa. Umebarikiwa.
Nimerogwa. I was actually, I'll tell you the truth. I had gone to Machakos to sleep. I couldn't sleep. So I went to Machakos. I slept on Friday and Saturday. On Sunday, I came back to Nairobi. Just at Galleria, she calls me. You see, sleepless nights. She calls me. Hello, it's not working. They need 8,000. She's crying. Sijui what. Nikaambia my husband, shukisha hapa. Kaniambia, unaenda wapi? I told him, just let me alight. Galleria. So I went back. And fortunately, the hospital, by the time I reached and I entered, God's grace, everything was approved. Initially, she was told it is not approving, but finally she was told approved, and it was done. Now, when we walked out of that place, I met Kenyans are good, Lynn.
They are.
They are.
They are.
They are very good. I met, I will not say the places, because
Yes.
I met some gentlemen who are sitting, it's a Saturday. They're having fun. No, it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Relaxing day.
Yes.
They're having fun. You know how they sit out and their music and what? I go with my lady. Kuja. So you know this girl. So you know what she's been through, yeah? Please help. Wakatoa.
So in the neighborhood.
Neighborhood.
Okay.
Wakatuambia hata kuna wengine huko. Wakatoa. Tukavuka barabara. Now to the stage to get a matatu. I met a police officer. Thank you very much. Alitoa. Watu wanauza smokies, mocha wanatoa. We got a matatu to town now to be able for her to connect. Hey, by the time that lady went home,
yes,
she had 8,000.
Wow.
Even the makangas walitoa. Because she's a single mother with 3 children. And she's sick. She was working in a salon. She can't work. And she has to go on Monday for a doctor, and she has no money. No. So, Monday, she needs 1,100 to see the doctor. I don't know what she'll be told. She's saying she has not paid rent from September. She keeps sending me messages, tumie chakula. Even up to 2 days ago, send me food. She's not been able to pick up. Kenyans donated. Even a policeman gave me 150 shillings. Our traffic, thank you. Kenyans are that good.
Yes.
Awa kukatakata miwa, mbao. Watu wa pikipiki, 50 bob. We left with 8,000 shillings. I gave her. She went with that. Now, why can't you say God provides when you need at that time? I did not go to Kenyatta because it was me. It was the right time. That is what I believe.
Amen.
Sasa mimi ndio huyo. Nimetoka kusaidia huyu na sana saidia huyu. So, when I was in Kenyatta, see, I've told you I met a policeman.
Yes.
He's escorted me to this lady.
Yeah.
Now this lady, she's being seen with the money we had collected, the 8,000. She's being told, do a blood test. Tukaenda. Akafanywa blood test. Tukarudi. Then another man came and said hi. So I felt uncomfortable. And I asked him, when nani? Kaniambia, I'm from customer care, sijui nini. Kaniambia, you are in Kenyatta, which floor? He said, sijui first floor, sijui what. But my senses were not good. Then I land in London, I see him.
Same guy.
Sitting at the reception where I was supposed to process my papers. Hey, hi. I go like, hey, what are you doing here? He tells me, I have a patient. But who am I to question? So I kept quiet. Now here I am busy processing. I didn't finish 20 minutes. The cops walked in. Now, if you see in the camera, there's a lady tapping me. Now she's tapping me 20. I go like 20. You know how can you tap somebody 20? Let's go. Where? Let's go. Where? Who are you? Where are you taking me? Are you arresting me? Here she is. She's not coherent. She's not telling me anything. Nothing. Then I see another one and 2 men. If you see them, you see the 2 men, you see the, so I see there are 4 people. Na hapa najua, hey. So I'm telling you, I'm not going. Where are you taking me? What do you want from me? Where are you from? If I've done something wrong, tell me where to come and report. I'm not going with you. So I actually dilly-dallied. And I started making noise. Because now, to attract attention. And that's how my voice now is imeenda kabisa ikienda. I think this is my voice now. I think I need to accept it. I don't know. So, I entered our office trying to hide. And I sat down and I demanded to be called for the surgeon and the other doctors who are there because I'm a patient. So I demanded, call me the doctors, I've come here for treatment. And don't forget, I'm telling you, my pressure was high.
Yes.
So, because of the nini, now here it's getting high. So I'm telling you, my pressure is high, I need to take drugs. I'm not feeling well. Apana, I refuse to come out. In a few minutes, now the other come with guns. Now I wonder what the hell. I'm seeing men with uniform, with guns. Now I'm wondering, what is this? So I had called my son, George, and I had called my husband. Now, don't forget, I'm still scared about my husband. I know. We've just lost his brother-in-law. And then here, I'm going to start telling him what's happening to me. I know it's going to be traumatized. It's traumatizing to me already. Yeah. I don't want him to go through anything. So, I called him, I called my son, and they dragged me. I was pinched. That was scratch marks, but was deisha. I was pinched, I was scratched, I was dragged. Then the one of them kept telling me, utaenda. And me, I'm siendi. Utaenda. Upendo usipenda. Ambia na upendo usipenda siendi. So we had quite an exchange trying to buy time. Yes. Because my son was in Rongai. Yeah. And he said, I'm coming. So, fine. They dragged me, put me. When I saw Subaru, I knew finished. Now, my neighbor, don't forget she's there. Yes. And she's seeing me being dragged. She rolled. Anyway. She rolled, she screamed. You know, she's saying me, you know, now she's traumatized. When she's going to tell my people, why did she bring me to hospital? And now she's going to be responsible answering questions. How did you, why, who, how? Why couldn't you prevent? It was also, and then her mother also. So it was a double trauma. The mother is seeing this daughter of mine, she's the one who helped us. Yes. My neighbor, it was, anyway. I was dragged. Kenda kwa Subaru yangu. I screamed. When I was in the car, I screamed more. When they opened the window, I screamed, help. So they closed the windows. They took a route. They took me to the first police station. Nothing. I think they rejected me. That's what I assume. I was taken to the second police station. I was rejected.
Tutaki drama.
Nikapelekwa nini? Capitol Hill. That's how I landed in Capitol Hill. Because when I was nini, and that time I was psychologically, that policeman, please, the one who we had exchange, they really work on their psychology. And that is now why I'm still where I am today.
Were they saying anything?
Were they?
What were they saying anything?
Yes, that is what I'm saying now. The psychology. Where tunajua mahali unaka, tutakuja mpaka kwako, tunajua unaweka kuku, unaweka nguruwe, unafanya. We know where you stay. We can get you anytime. You know that kind of psychological fear. That's why sometimes even I'm unable to sleep. And then my hair, this hair, ni mongiki. We shall shave you. Iyo nyene tutakata. Iyo ujeuri. Iyo mdomo. Iyo kwanza iyo walikuwa iyo ujeuri uko nayo. Iyo mdomo. So, me, in self-defense, I told them I went to a good school. Actually, Lynn, I went to Kenya High School. Yes. And I also went to Moi Nairobi Girls. Yes. So, I went to good school. Kama nyinyi hamkusoma.
That's on you.
So we had, it was a way of protecting myself. It was a way of defending myself.
And letting them know know you are right.
And no, you're not going to intimidate me. You're not going to just say nile. But later, you know, sasa unakumbuka, you shrink, bado inakukula. But at that time, you're fighting. So, but Capitol Hill is good. They took care of me. Mimi njaa nikisikia niletoa food. Simu tu ndio sikuwa nayo kwa sababu alienda nayo. And whatever I needed to drink, I was brought my drugs. But of course, it cannot be home. Yes. My worry was about my husband. Na sasa mimi, so I was telling him, you know, remember we were told till death do us part. So kuja kaa hapa na mimi. Kuja tu. So tusema till death, si tu tulisikiza na you come and stay. So he kept laughing at me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I tried to make fun to comfort him when he was going home. I know he didn't sleep. That's what he told me. And we are here. So following day, of course, they didn't take me to court. And I'm still there. And I'm still waiting for the official withdrawal. It has not been done. It's not been put in writing. No.
Who was the complaint?
We don't know.
You don't know who filed the complaint against you. So they arrested
They say the ministry.
For what?
Disturbance.
Okay. But they don't take you to court?
Yes.
They don't present you with an official withdrawal?
Yes.
Do you think this is to keep you in fear that tujamalizana na hii kitu?
I don't know. I don't want to go there because I'm reporting on 3rd.
Okay.
I'm reporting on 3rd because they said they have not received any official communication. So I hope by 3rd, the necessary will be done.
You are reporting where? To the
DCI.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I'm reporting. So they've extended. So the investigating officer, the last time I went, told me she had not received instructions. That was not official. It needs to be official. Yes. So they had not received any official communication.
Okay. Yes. Allow me to take you back to this arrest, because one of the things that came out, you were arrested by more than 10 people. Like someone who has what? I don't know. Do you think that was necessary? Or why do you think they did that? I mean, considering we're in a country where a lot of people are still missing, a lot of crimes were committed, no one is being held accountable, why would so much resource and manpower be directed your way? And there were also allegations that you had been paid by someone to fight the government. Is that true?
No. Me, I'm just a sick patient. I was actually sick and I was looking for help. I'm not a politician. I don't even know anything about politics. I actually don't watch politics. Me, I was just going there as a patient. And I have the papers, I have the MRI, I have the admission papers. So it was nothing political. So maybe because of what the media had said, because even I saw some people saying that I had some assistance to enter to those offices. I saw one of the newscasters saying, somebody must have it. No, we prayed our God. We prayed our God, please, we need help. And that's what I'm still saying today. We need help. Me, there's nothing political about this. There's nothing that I was looking for. Actually, even when people started saying the Sha Lioness, I was going like, oh my God, this is way out of proportion. Because me, I'm a patient. I'm not a politician. I'm a nurse. And a nurse, it's an oath we took. There's something called Florence Nightingale, the one who cast us. We say she cast us. She didn't sleep at night. Yeah. She refused to sleep, so that's why we keep awake. If she had slept, we'd all be sleeping. So there's an oath we take, and we're a patient's advocate. So that person who's not able to talk. Actually, throughout my career, the people who know me, and the hospitals I've worked, they know I'm a patient advocate. In fact, my boss used to make fun that mumekosana, umefanya nini mgonjwa? They call me Njoki. Njoki, umekosana, ulifanya nini mgonjwa? They wouldn't ask what have you done? What have you done to the patient? Because they'd know if you say I told I was a manager for 3 places. So if I take you forward, you'd be what did you do to the patient? No, there was nothing personal. So me, it is nothing personal. It's all about patients. It's all about getting the proper treatment, and it's all about giving what is rightfully theirs. And
using your voice
Thank you.
For what you believe in.
And that is where now there's a group of professionals. We are trying to come together.
Yes.
We are calling ourselves Trust Care.
That's nice.
Yes. So we want to give our patients the proper care, the proper guidance, to feel safe in an environment, you reach out. Like now, I've just given you an example of that mother. She's unable to work. We want genuine cases so that if somebody is able to reach out, like now when I went to Kenyatta, I told you I gave some colostomy bags.
Yes.
There are patients in bed. Those bags are very expensive. It's imagine, Lynn, unakatwa hapa tumbo, choo inatokelezea kwa mfuko. You're supposed to change it every other day kwa sababu inajaa. So you can't wash it or nini, so you remove and dump and take another one. Some stay with them for life, others are reversed. So when you meet such a person, I would want that the people I'll give you a good. Kenyans are so generous. Do you know, I've been receiving money left, right, center. There are so many people I want to say thank you. They have helped me meet part of the bills that came up, and it is not my asking. Like the other day, somebody found me in the, what is this? The Hub. It's in Karen. I went to visit a friend. He told me, I'm buying you lunch. And I went, okay, fine. You did well, and I was good. It wasn't me, and whatever I was eating, I'm buying the lunch. And you know, we have people out there who they're saying, and they've reached out. How can we help? Even there's a ladies group. What was it called? That reached out. Yeah. That they were ready to pay my lawyer's fees if I went to court.
Wow.
Now the case was dropped. They had reached out. We want to pay. You know. Even I have a group in Rongai. They reached out. There's a lot of love.
Ready to come through.
Yes, ready to come through. So if we are able to know that this is a genuine person, I see so many people. We have so many people who need help, but they don't know where to go. So we want for cancer, especially for cancer, because I see a lot of people suffering, especially when they are told. There are people who need counseling. There are people who know you have a patient at home. You want to take to hospital and you're working. What do? You ask for permission today, tomorrow, the third day boss anasema nimechoka na hii. So those are the services that those group want, and we also get jobs for the people who don't have jobs. So when you get to that platform, it will be for different cadres. Somebody escorting a patient, another one if you have questions to ask, we channel them. I don't have to answer them, but we can channel them to the proper. We guide you to who you can ask. Because there are so many things out there that people are asking and suffering in silence.
It's called Trust Care.
Yes.
How can people connect with it? How can people look it up? Or how can people, just, how can we go about it?
It is in Instagram.
Okay.
It is in Facebook.
Okay.
And we also started an Mchanga. I will share the pay bill.
Please.
So that whoever wants, we are even looking for ambulances. You see, we've just given how somebody collapses in the house. You can just call.
If it's available, let's do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know there are some people who have ambulances. I don't want to give them their names. They know themselves, that are lying in the houses or cars that we can. We have volunteers. We have just the same way I'm saying I'm going for a camp tomorrow.
Yes.
To Baringo. 4 days. We are coming back on fast. There are so many people, and we're not being paid. Tunalala kwa tent.
It's pro bono.
Pro bono. Mnaenda, mnatibu, mnafanya kila kitu. All you do is give us food and somewhere to sleep. The rest is free.
I would love to document that.
Yes.
So that I would love to collaborate in terms of creating awareness around that, so that if people, because I know there are people who are watching and they might want to, come through for such courses.
Yes.
I love that there's already an Mchanga.
Yes.
There's an email address also.
Yes.
I'm putting those details for you guys on screen, so that I think it's a very, very beautiful initiative.
Yes. Thank you.
It's a great initiative.
Thank you.
Go, Grace.
Thank you.
Go, you.
Thank you.
It's a great initiative.
Yes. We have patients at home who don't have somebody to take care of. Like I remember there was one who was saying, a son is changing the mother a diaper. I mean, how crazy is that? You are forced to see your mother's nakedness. It's not right. There are mothers who, you get tired of taking care of a patient. You need a break. But this son is 24/7. And he has nobody to reach out because the others are busy. So he's the only one at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that initiative. Let me know more details,
Yes.
where you want to create awareness.
Yes.
I would love to talk to my audience about it
yes,
sometimes,
yes,
you know.
yes.
But, you know, you're coming out from all this and you find a lot of support.
Yes.
People on X who are
Yeah.
camping
Yes.
day in, day, you know, throughout
Yes.
the night.
Yes.
Are demanding for your release. People actually were creating awareness around these systematic failures. People are really vouching for you. How does that make you feel to see the whole country was united towards your release?
I'll say it's God's grace. I'm still going back to God.
Amen.
Because I didn't wake up that morning planning. I never planned. It just happened. And then I also have seen that if you ask, you shall receive.
Yes.
I asked God, I need to know how I can serve better. I feel I need to serve better. I don't know how to serve. And it's in that place where people are helpless. So, it is, it's called, you're pushed. Pap, because I kept going and taking a step and then 1 step and 2 steps backward.
Yeah.
Yes. And I want to say that Kenyans are beautiful people. When it is time to stand up, they will stand up. When it is time to say, we go, we go. So I know there are many people out there who are struggling, and not only that, who have that kind of I would say calling, but they don't know where to go or what to do with it. So trust, care. That is why we are saying you have to trust and you care. They are coming together. You are trusting this person. You're trusting this, and we want that when we start it. Okay, as we go along, because as you said, it's an issue. We want many people on board, and we also want people to understand that it is not a one-man show.
Yes.
It is all of us.
Yes.
Yes, because I need you, Lynn. I'll need a driver.
Yes.
I'll need somebody to donate the goods. I'll need medicine. So it is all of us.
It's all of us.
It's all of us
coming together.
And it's not about Grace. It is all of us taking care of our sick nation.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Grace, the year is 2025. We are still talking about systems that fail sometimes. We are still talking about healthcare not being accessible to so many people. We are still talking about citizens who can't afford even the admission fee, the few cents here and there to buy medicine. When you look back, what could we do better?
What I have seen and what I know is that we just educate. The most important thing is to educate. You see, most people nowadays, if you look, I was shocked to hear they even listening to Radio Jambo. You know, I went to Radio Jambo, and people said they had me talking. They didn't know about some of these things, and it amazed me that, like the way I've said, it is your right to get first aid when you get an injury. Katika mkono unaweza enda hata Nairobi hospital. You can go to don't be scared that because it's money. First, let them stop the bleeding. Then, if you don't have money, I'm not saying you go to Nini, but it is a basic right. Yes. So we have people out there, as you're saying. It is only that they don't have the knowledge. So now we need to start educating the kidogo that you can able to, and I hope to get more ways of reaching out, because I don't want to be alone. As you're saying, when I get people to reach out, then I will also reach out to others.
Yes.
So it is a web. It is a web, because I'm starting around what is around
Beautiful.
me. Around me. Sawa. Then from there, I will spread my wings around. So because already, as you say, I am known all over Kenya, but it is not me. But when they see the face, they will know that this is a person who we can trust, and this is a person who can provide care. That is where we are going to. That is so that when you're talking, you are able to talk with sense. You're able to know what you're talking about. I don't want to make promises which I cannot deliver. Yes.
What can the government do better?
The government, so far, it's a baby step they're taking. They took on a lion.
Yes.
That's why they took on a lion. So they need to do their baby steps and listen to us. We have nothing against them. By the way, it's just like a toddler. You scroll
Learning to crawl.
to walk. Yes. So to me, let them find out from experience. And anywhere, whenever a new system is started, there'll always be resistance.
Yes.
It's the first word is resist. Resist. So there'll always be that. Lakini as time goes on, they say, kumbe. I remember when we were being given our matatus, when we were told not to stand,
Yes.
we were saying it's not, we were saying my numbers cannot wear uniform. See, they wear uniform.
Yeah.
So the first time is resist.
Resist.
But it will work.
I feel like Kenyans are not resisting. They are just asking what was the rush.
Yes.
What was the rush? I mean, do your groundwork, because some of these things you can see, there was no thought that went into it. Chukueni, higher, but these are people's lives here at risk. These are people who are going for dialysis.
Yes.
These are people who can't postpone their healing process for your system to.
But do you know there's something?
Yeah.
That is what now I was saying. They need to have an alternative. And that is where we are now.
Good.
Asking for an alternative. Because let me tell you, even when you go to that Kenyatta, and you're not, people don't know. When you go to that Kenyatta, and you're not able to pay a bill, there's something called a social worker. Do you know that?
No, me, I didn't know.
Yes. There's something called a social worker who will determine whether you're able to pay or not. They can even give you credit. You pay later.
Wow.
This, that. Depending on how criteria, how critical or what, you can pay later.
Later.
Yes.
Or you can't pay at all.
Like now I'll give you, my own brother-in-law. There are tests that needed to be done.
Yes.
At that time we didn't have money. He got a credit note and he paid. Yes. So there are some services that are there we don't know. Yes. So that's why I'm saying it's educating.
And the alternative.
Yes.
And use all these places to educate people about these things.
Exactly.
Assuming people know is quite a mistake there.
Yes.
But
another thing why people are not told so much about it is because Kenyans will like taking advantage. Even the one who can afford will pretend they can't afford. So that is why some things maybe they look hidden.
But this is health. This is not spaghetti we are talking about. This is
with
health. Everything needs to come out to the open because this is something that will affect everyone at a given time.
I agree. And that is why when you walk in Kenyatta, or not talk, any hospital, you're taking your observations first. Blood pressure, sukari, nini.
Yes.
Before you move anywhere. Now, if you're very sick, you don't queue. You're taken to see the doctor immediately. So, and you're given a number. In fact, you pass on even that creating a card or whatever. Somebody comes from the desk to come and get your details where you are because you can't move. Those are the services that are there. And some people don't know that they are there.
Yeah.
And it is your right. So there are those basic things that people don't know. And they need to be made aware. Yes.
Beautiful.
So unashinda ukipanga laini, unakufa. If you're not well, enda hapo mbele.
Straight.
That's why you say somebody died in a queue. Why?
Shouldn't be. Yeah. But what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Oh. Me, I'm really about cancer. Mostly about cancer. I'd want to be a place whereby patients with cancer go and feel safe. Whichever stage you are, wherever you are, that you can reach out and talk about it and get encouragement and know you're not alone. You're not walking, especially, please reach out. I plead with anybody with a cancer patient. Reach out. I have no problem. I have walked even to Gidurai. I have visited patients with cancer. I've gone to, what is it called? Kahawa West. Patients with cancer. It's a passion. So that is the most scary disease in this country. So I would want to leave a legacy that cancer is not a death sentence. That's a motto I say.
Yes.
Cancer is not a death sentence. Because when you hear cancer, stage 4, you are dead.
Good.
I want to ask, how many people have died the last 6 years? There's so many. But we're still fighting on. And we're still soldiering on.
Yes.
Yes. So my legacy is cancer is not a death sentence. Yes.
How can people connect with you? Is there a phone number?
Yes.
Would you want to give one?
Yes.
How can they go about it?
my number, I will give it to you so that you will share with them.
Yeah, you can feel free to say it.
Okay.
If it's in your master.
Master.
Ka andama nikuwekea kaka note.
Ni 07.
I see. Ndio hii
0710 923370.
Oh yes. 0710 923 370. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's been amazing getting to finally have this conversation with you.
Thank you.
Tumetoka mbali
sana. And I wanted to say thank you. It is not, we don't take a lot of things for granted, Lynn.
Yes.
You've changed people's lives and you're a blessing to many, and keep it up.
Thank you.
Even if one person doesn't, you wake up with a purpose.
Yes.
You wake up knowing who you are. You do not wait for people to clap and say,
clap for me.
Clap for you. Just know you're doing a good job, and keep it up. You have touched millions.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so are you.
Thank you.
Oh, now you got to blush. And so are you, and so are you. I'm sure when our parents, of course, since I went to same school with your son, I can only imagine when you guys were struggling to pay our semester fees.
Yes.
The dream was for us to live a life of purpose, and I can only hope we are making our parents proud. I can only hope we will be here to continue with the journey. Yes. So when I see you're doing it, your child is doing it, our children will do it. Yes. I have hope for a better Kenya.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
yeah.
you. Yes.
Tumalize. Uko sawa?
Uko sawa.
Kabisa. Uko na parting shot?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Kenyans. God bless you. You see, this red hair is a trademark. Anywhere I'm walking, they're not seeing this. They're seeing my hair. And they say that is fire. Actually, somebody has named my head Fire.
Fire, baby.
Fire. Now, thank you, Kenyans. And from the bottom of my heart, me and my family, we appreciate everything that you've done for us. It is one day at a time. And I believe we shall go this journey together. It is a starting point, and we shall see today, tomorrow, and the day after a change. And I will come back to Lynn and tell her our way forward, how far we have gone with Trust Care.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Salamu mingi. Naona George's brother is here. Yes. Salimia George.
Yes.
And also once again, to just say thank you for standing up and speaking when it mattered. And I hope we can continue doing that. And you guys who are watching home, like if you're watching this from home or wherever you are, I hope this encourages you to continue speaking and continue doing what you need to do. And I love what our mom has said. It doesn't matter if people are clapping or not. You woke up with a purpose. Live your purpose, no matter who is clapping or who is not. And also take a minute and check out Trust Care. Pretty sure you'll hear me talk about it once in a while here on the show, because I believe in great initiatives, and I believe in initiatives that are trying to bring people together. So you can check them out. Here are the details on the screen. And also, if you want to channel, this is not an ad, guys, but if you want to channel your support towards the cause and you believe in the cause, here also the way you can be able to support that particular cause. And if you want to get in touch with Grace, as she said, her number is right here on the screen. And for me, just to say thank you so much for tuning in and for standing with her when it mattered as well. I've always said when we come together, there are so many things that can be able to happen. A huge shout out also to our partners of today's conversation that I spoke about on the beginning of the show, Kings Developers Limited. Shukran sana. We don't take you guys for granted. If you can, and if you're able to get an apartment, talk to them. And also to say thank you to you guys for just being incredible supporters of our work. I've always said, si lazima upike chakula na watu wakule. So every time we meet here and we share this meal in terms of content together, I really don't take that for granted, that we are able to learn and relearn. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Share that feedback with me. How are you feeling about these conversations? Who else would you want to see us feature on the show? And if there's anything you can't say on the comment section, I see a lot of you on the email also, mukinipatia heads up here and there, info@lnn.digital. That's where you can be able to find me. Remember, this year we are talking about advocacy, we are talking about conservancies, and let me tell you guys, mimi siachi kuongea maneno ya conservancies. No matter where you go where you need to go. We will talk about conservancies, and we will talk about the injustices that are happening around these conservancies. So make sure you check our previous episodes on these conservancies so that we can be able to move forward pole pole pamoja. My name is Lynn Ngugi. How about I see you tomorrow? You know what time it is, 10 a.m. ama tukienda sana 7 p.m. Bye bye.